minutes.
Okay. So the recording has started. Good evening, Ramkumar Srinivasan, sir. How are you? You're
I'm
the
good.
first
I'm
guest
good,
of our
Raghav.
podcast.
Thank you so
Yes,
much
sir.
for making me a part of the session.
Yes, sir. So I would like to give a short introduction about you to our guest. So, sir has a rich experience in the banking sector, and he has spent 18 years in HSBC Bank at various top positions. He has worked in Treasury Department as well, and he was a senior vice president in commercial banking as well at HSBC. And if anybody wants to network with him, I'll be keeping his LinkedIn profile in the bio. They can connect with sir as well. And he has
Sure.
also now been imparting and disseminating knowledge in the field of banking and finance in various MBA colleges across the country. Thank you, Saran Kumar sir, for joining. And now we'll begin the topic, which is campus to corporate navigating the transition in banking and finance. Basically, it's for
Yep.
helping students who are still unsure, still navigating the path in the field of finance and banking. And they will, after talking to an industry person with so much experience and knowledge, they'll definitely be at a better position than what they were before seeing this podcast.
Yep.
Okay. Sir, why do you think the transition to what made you uh, come into this field of banking and finance? What made you decide to go specific to the banking sector and not other aspects of finance like audit or something like that?
Okay. So, this is one sector that the economy cannot function without. So I always knew that, this is the engine of the economy. But if you don't have a bank or you don't have a financial service company, how will the economy
Mm,
grow? And
mm,
I was lucky enough, to have treated at a time when the economy was just about to revive, and that's the
mm,
reason why I selected this industry to be a part of the economic growth, the economic engine that will drive the
mm,
economy and take the economy to where it was. So I
mm,
decided to move into, I mean, join the BFSI. It was always clear that I wanted to join a bank. Obviously,
mm.
because also another reason, but perhaps not the primary reason, my mother also was a banker. So she also
Okay.
but she worked with the PSU bank. Uh, and
Mm.
yeah, I wanted to follow the footsteps. I
Okay.
got
Follow into
selected.
the footsteps
And
of my family
yeah,
and your mom. Wonderful. So basically, sir, in this podcast, we have been skipping the textbook theories to
yeah.
rules of the banking sector, more of the practical side of it. So, what was your biggest culture shock moving from a campus environment in college, like when you did your MBA, to a high pressure banking role?
Yeah. So, when you move into a corporate world or when you're in the campus, you have a lot of friends around you who help
Mm,
you, in certain assignments or help you understand a specific topic which you have not
mm,
understood. Uh, in the corporate world, and this is the real world, you are on your own. Okay? There's nobody there to help you. You've got, you've got to sail the boat yourself. You've got to drop the anchor. You've got to row it by yourself. There's nobody who's going to feed you. Nobody's going to assist
mm,
you. Okay. So that
mm,
was one big shock that I had. That, look, there's nobody here to help me. So, and
mm,
sometimes it's quite, disappointing as well because there are people in the corporate world who are not ready to help you, but are also ready to pull you down. Okay.
mm,
By pulling you down means, they might perhaps, throw some harsh words at you. They might, take the benefit, in front of your seniors. They might take the benefit, although in spite of the fact that you put in a lot of hard work, but they take the cake, as they say in English.
mm,
So, these are certain things that you've got to be prepared for because this is what, no textbook will teach you, no professor will teach you in the campus. This is what you got to
mm.
experience firsthand. Was,
Okay.
a shock for me when I entered.
So, what was the early mistake you made, or like inadvertently, and what it
Yeah.
taught you about the financial industry, how the industry operates? Like one mistake,
Yeah.
any you remember?
There are many mistakes that I've made. But yeah, the one mistake which I made was, firstly is trusting everybody. As I said, just related to the earlier point, you can't trust
Mm,
everybody in the corporate world because
mm,
everybody is, earning for their own performance. They are not interested in how
mm,
you perform. They are interested in how they perform. selfish to that extent. They will not help you grow up. So there are not many people who
Mm-hmm.
do that. So that's one early mistake that you make. That you trust everybody. You hand, you as they say in English that you show your cards. You open up your cards. Sometimes it's important for you to just close your cards and not to open
Mm-hmm.
the cards. The second thing
Mm-hmm.
is, especially in the finance world, and especially in banking industry. So I initially worked in a function which was a regulatory reporting function. So where you had to
Mm-hmm.
report a lot of numbers to the regulator, that is RBI. And when you report a number, you need to be 100% sure that's accurate. Unfortunately, I did the mistake of just reporting a number without cross-checking, another report
Mm-hmm.
to a similar number. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
you need to ensure when you're reporting a number, to a regulator, to a stakeholder, you need to be 100% sure that the number that you're reporting is accurate, 100% accurate. That's the second mistake which I made was not, cross-checking the numbers or not validating the numbers with some other report. That's
Mm-hmm.
a eye opener for
So in some banking sector, do you think that is individual like grading or individual performance more important, or team-based accountability is more important?
So when I take a look at the bank, obviously the bank or the CEO is concerned more about the team because the team, generates more return than an individual contributor, right?
Mm-hmm.
At a senior level, it's obviously the team which is important. But if I look at it at an individual perspective, yes, an individual needs to make up a team. A set of individuals needs to make up a team. That cohesive
Mm-hmm.
unit needs to come across, amongst the individuals to work for the team. Unless you
Mm-hmm.
get that mindset, in, unless you change that attitude in you, the team will never succeed. Individually, you might succeed, but as a
Mm-hmm.
cohesive unit, you might not succeed. So I think both are
Mm-hmm.
important, equally important, and they need to go in sync, in hand in hand.
Okay, okay, sir. Understood. Sir, in terms of a skill gap, I wanted to ask, should students focus more on knowledge of complex topics like, for example, derivatives or treasury, or should they focus more on practical skills like, improving their Excel formulas or
Yeah.
financial modeling in Excel or clear communication
No,
and
I
punctuality
think
on.
it's the latter. Because sometimes we as humans think that doing complex things, okay, makes our lives easier. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes doing simple things and doing it right makes things
Mm-hmm.
simpler for others as well. So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
important for you at this stage, let's not go into derivatives or, complex calculations. Just do the
Mm-hmm.
simple things right. As an example,
Mm-hmm.
basic Excel skills like a VLOOKUP, a pivot,
Mm-hmm.
these things should come naturally to all of you. And you need to do it, at a faster rate, right? The best,
Mm-hmm.
I've learned the best way to
Mm-hmm.
learn Excel is obviously using shortcuts and not
Mm-hmm.
using a mouse. People tend to
Mm-hmm.
generally use a mouse, but
Mm-hmm.
effectively, if you use the keyboard, that's much faster
Mm-hmm.
because that helps you. The faster you make a report, the more time you have to analyze it, right? In
Mm-hmm.
corporate world, you don't have that enough amount of time, to sit over it over a period of 1 day and analyze it. Sometimes you might just get a call from a line manager. Look, I want this report in the next 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've got to meet the timeline. You've got to throw in your observations. Right? So it's important that you need to learn these skills initially. Don't go into complex things. Make it simple. Learn these skills, and then it will give you more time to analyze.
Okay. So the next question is, sir, if somebody is on a numbers job, is are mistakes okay to be made, or is a zero mistake policy important?
No,
Like, if
I
somebody has a
don't
minimum
think,
sanction.
the general philosophy is to err is human. Okay. And it's a general tendency that humans will make mistakes. Okay.
Hmm.
But the most important thing is to learn from those mistakes. Most
Hmm.
important thing is to move forward. Don't look backward. Don't keep repenting that, look, अरे मैंने वो गलती किया. Don't keep harping on that. Okay. You need to
Hmm.
move forward. So I
Hmm.
normally give Raghav a lot of analogies with cricket, because that's
Hmm.
one of the important sports, favorite sports obviously. So when a batsman is batting, right, he
Mm,
misses the ball. Okay,
mm,
focus on that ball that he missed. He won't be able to concentrate on the next ball, and there is a possibility
mm,
that he might be out in the next ball. So focus
mm,
on the next ball rather than in the past. That's
mm.
most important in work.
Okay, okay. So some people think that like banking is a traditional, it has been always there since the
Yeah.
modern world has existed. So do you
Yeah.
think is flexibility mindset important in bankers, or is it okay for them to be rigid? Like some people think
No,
being
you need to
rigid
be a
if
lot
they
of
are.
flexible. I think there's a demand for a lot of flexibility in this day and age. You need
Mm-hmm,
to be adaptive and flexible as well.
mm-hmm,
And that's why, is there an opportunity that presents itself, you need to grab that opportunity. Yeah, don't be
mm-hmm,
rigid saying that इसको लेके मैं अगर करूंगा तो मुझे क्या मिलेगा. If you
mm-hmm,
do that with going to that mindset, then you might not be able to succeed. You need to just grab an opportunity which comes by your way. If it meets your career aspirations, just grab it. Just get into it. Okay. You
mm-hmm,
never know what is an outcome that might come out of that. You might even get promoted, you might get moved into another department. So, grab whatever you can because opportunities are very few combined in this day and age. So be
mm-hmm.
flexible, keep your eyes and ears open, and be adaptable.
Okay. So one more question I had that is how do some banks manage to gain a lot of trust from people and some do not get that level of trust, and what is the ethics that should be in every banker when it concerned with managing other people's money?
I think the first thing is I'll just answer the second question first. Is about
Mm,
what do we do with our customers? I think very important thing is be transparent.
mm,
Very, very crucial. Just be transparent enough. If a foreign exchange dealer has made a loss on a foreign exchange transaction which is impacting the customer, make it upfront. Disclose it. Okay. Rather
mm,
than the customer getting to know later on, right?
mm,
You might face the flag. Okay, you might face the whip as well. Okay, that you made a mistake, and that's the reason why that's caused loss to the customer. But it's important to inform the customer that there is a loss which has happened, so that they could also take preventive action, right? But in the
mm,
end, if you disclose this at a later stage, then it might be too late for them to take any action. They
mm,
themselves would disclose, why didn't you tell us this before? Okay, so that's the
mm,
first thing. Just be transparent, open about it, right?
mm,
As I said, you might be whipped on this, okay, for using a harsh word. Your performance might get degraded, but be upfront and open. I think sometimes people say this, it's not right to be, overly open. I agree with that. You need to be diplomatic as well. You need to find that fine balance between diplomacy and being open and being transparent. Okay, so
mm.
that's very important. Sorry, the first part of the question was,
So how do some banks manage to get a lot of trust from people and some fail to create trust?
it's again the same thing. It's same thing. It's just being, transparent and being open about it. Okay, there is no
Mm,
harm in disclosing certain aspects that you have done a mistake or the bank has undergone. There have been so many cases where banks have gone ahead and openly disclosed the fact that their relationship manager has defrauded. I mean, entered into fraudulent transaction, siphoned off the money of customers' bank account. It's very important that you need to disclose it straight away. Inform the regulator,
mm,
right? Inform the
mm,
regulator that this is such a kind of action is important. That's what people look forward to is what is the preventive action which bank is going to undertake to ensure that such recurrences don't happen in the future. That's most important.
mm.
Rather than
Okay, sir.
disclosing is one step, but the second step is also informing, getting out, a process note saying that
Mm,
how can the bank prevent that such instances don't happen in the future? That is how banks build trust in people. Saying that
mm,
क्या होता है, the moment it happens for one customer, there is always, a cascading impact. क्या मेरे साथ भी ऐसा
mm,
हो सकता है? Right? So it's
mm,
important that the bank, come out on social media as well. That look,
mm,
this is what has happened. No need to disclose the name of the relationship manager. What is the fraud? Okay, because he's
mm,
done it. You do not know for what reason. You might be under pressure
mm,
as well. But fair
mm.
enough. you ensure that he's being penalized in the rightful
Mm.
manner after conducting an investigation, but also inform your customers that look, we are dead serious about this, and we do not want
Mm.
these instances to happen in the future.
Okay, okay. So now there's like some questions which on popular demand a lot of students had. Is that, sir, is at this early stage of their career, like they are just joining into the
Yeah.
the banking sector. So should they focus on learning in a smaller bank or on the logo, that is, should on the brand value of a bigger bank, but at a low, a
Okay.
little lesser important?
I always believe I have not had the privilege of doing that. And for me, I think that's a disadvantage if I look at my year. I've not had the privilege of working for a small bank. Okay. The reason why the biggest disadvantage of working for a small bank is that you have a number of options here on you. You'll do a lot of
Mm.
things. You learn a lot of things. In a bigger bank, you are being given a specific task or a specific function. You need to focus only on that. While a smaller
Mm.
bank gives you an opportunity to do a lot of more things. It might
Mm.
be, it might at the early stage of a career or even at a later stage as well. Brand name is not important. What you're doing is important. How you're doing it is important. Brand
Mm.
name doesn't matter in this day and age, right? Even if somebody's telling me that I'm working for a bank like Saraswat Cooperative Bank or Shamravittal Cooperative Bank, but he's learning a lot more than somebody working for a foreign bank. I think that person who's working for a cooperative bank will be much valued.
Okay. So, sir, should at the start people focus, like students who are going, should they focus on generalist roles, or should they already have a narrowed focus or a specialist role?
No, I
Should-
think what happens is this is also another notion. I mean, among students as well. At the start of the career, you yourself don't know what is right for you. You do not know where your passion lies. Okay? So it's important for you to be open and flexible. And coming back to the earlier point which I made, open and flexible, get into a generalist role. Okay, a generalist
Mm.
role will give you a plethora of options. Get into each one of them and see where your interest lies. And basis that, then you can make an informed decision as this is where I want to go. This is where I want to head. This is what I want to do in the future. What you read is is totally different to what you experience in the practical, right, in the corporate world. So it's important that you make informed choices rather than going to a specialist role at the start, which is very unlikely at this day and age. It's very difficult for you to get a extremely specialist job because what happens then is if you get into that and you spend a lot of time. Okay, I know of a friend who got into this very specific role, this very specific generic role. Right? He's been working in that role for the last 5 to 10 years. Now, what's happening is he's getting opportunities only in that.
Mm.
So it's important for you. You're restricting yourself. When you go into a specialist role, you're restricting yourself. You're not keeping yourself open to other options. So I would my
Okay.
suggestion is go into a generalist role at the start.
So do you think AI has the capability of reducing a lot of jobs in banking sector also, like it has done in some other sectors like IT, or do you think the banking is more cushioned as compared to other when compared to with respect to the AI
Yeah.
usage?
Okay. So this is one question which I keep getting asked as well. Will AI take away the job? I don't think AI will take away the jobs. It was a revolution of computer revolution that came into each and every industry. We thought at that point in time jobs would go away. The moment
Mm.
internet came in, we thought that internet will take away people's jobs. Now we're thinking that
Mm.
AI will come in and AI will take a job. Just remember one thing: AI is built as a backdrop of some algorithms, right?
Mm.
It's being built in such a way that algorithms are being created and an output is being given. But that output is
Mm.
being given to a human to make a decision. The AI
Mm.
cannot make the decision for you. Okay.
Mm.
At the end of the day, as an example, this is an example. If I need to, cut down some people, right? A human has to take a decision, and AI cannot take a decision because AI is not built with that emotional intelligence which a human is
Mm.
being built with. So AI is
Mm.
not going to take away jobs. It might, in certain spaces, it might reduce, but it will create more jobs elsewhere as well. So I think it's a
Mm.
balancing act. It's important to be in that space where you think that AI will generate more jobs. That's most important.
Mm. Okay, so the next question is, is suppose on a scale of 0 to 10 on a skills rating, if some currently one student is at suppose a 4 out of 10, what steps on a daily level must he do to reach at a high position like a 9 or 10 out of 10?
I think do simple things every day. Simple things. As an example, if you're traveling to work, okay, I see this in trains. Even I travel by train. I see this. The common issue is people are all on their mobiles. Okay, they might be
Hmm.
watching some video, they might be reading as well. But the best way to learn also is to reading news articles. I think
Hmm.
spend at least 30 minutes reading some newspaper, okay, of your choice. Okay. Spend 30 minutes just reading, listening to some news headlines, either business or be it a general news headlines as well. Understand what's happening worldwide. Okay. Understand what's happening in the country. I think that will, just simple things. Just do 30 minutes. The best students as well, you would agree with me. The best students, if you see the IIT toppers or IIM toppers, they have been studying for 14, 15 hours a day, right? They have done
Hmm.
just been disciplined in spending at least 4 or 5 hours a day. And the
Hmm.
request here is for students just spend half an hour in a train journey, rather than looking at your mobile, looking at some video, looking at some, YouTube videos as well. Just spend 30 minutes reading a newspaper. That's
Yes, sir,
all it
absolutely.
takes. That's all it takes.
So do you think reading, like suppose the RBI website, do you think reading the RBI website is a treasure trove for like people who want to know about the banks, because the RBI is like a banker to the banks itself. So do you think it
Yeah,
is a good
absolutely.
knowledge base for people to
Oh,
understand, what all the
RBI,
RBI?
RBI's website is quite informative. Okay, it has a lot
Hmm.
of data, but all its
Hmm.
rules and regulations are through a form called as master circulars. And master
Hmm.
circulars always has reference to another master circular that was being previously announced. So it's very difficult for
Hmm.
student to relate to them, unless you're
Hmm.
practically involved in that specific function which RBI is, dictating or whatever. So I don't
Hmm.
think at this stage of your career, or at an early
Hmm.
stage, you need to spend time in master circulars. Yes, but if you're
Hmm.
being given a role in a specific department, say for example, regulatory reporting, look at
Hmm.
regulatory reporting, in terms of deployment of credit, across investments. Just understand, what that master circle talks about. Okay, but don't go
Hmm.
through all. Relate to
Hmm.
your specific role and understand the master circle. That's what at
Okay.
this
Okay.
point in time, rather than later on we can go into very detailed understanding of all these master circles.
So one more like on popular demand question is, what is a hiring manager actually looking for a finance fresher? Like what skills do you think are the biggest the markers that they should be in your CV or in your knowledge base, that
Okay.
these are the skills you must have for a finance, like or a banking professional who's hiring for you know a banking role.
I'll just make it general, not specific to banking. I'll just make it general. If I was a hiring manager, I'll try to test that individual to see whether he's curious to know or curious to learn. Okay.
Hmm.
If he's, shut down saying that, no, sir, I want to do this. I just want to do that. I want to do this. I will not do this. I'm sorry. I'm not going to take it. Right. Because he
Hmm.
needs to keep himself open. I keep reiterating, keep yourself flexible and adaptable. Okay, be
Hmm.
curious to learn. Okay, if you
Hmm.
have that quality, any line manager would want to hire you. So I would want
Hmm.
to look forward to one who is curious to learn, two who's more resilient. If I
Hmm.
put an employee into a corner, how is he going to respond? Is he going to
Hmm.
tremble and fail, or is he going to tremble and fail and then pick himself up?
Hmm.
What's important is that once you fail, how you're going to pick yourself. That's important.
Okay. So I would ask one question, like one question is that do things like patience and do skills like networking, what is the importance do they have in banking sector as like the job professionals?
I can't emphasize a lot. I mean, networking is one of the crucial aspects in any job. Again, not specific to banking. And I recollect, what my mentor told me as well, and what my mentor keeps saying that this network of individuals, the network of people, This is net worth.
Hmm.
Okay, your net worth is your net worth because you do not
Hmm.
know who can come of any help to you at any point in time. Right? In this
Hmm.
business world, in this corporate world, you might leave an organization. Don't leave in the organization on a bitter note. Always leave on a
Hmm.
happy note, right? Sure that you're keeping people informed that you're going to leave the organization. Just don't turn up. Just don't turn up. That's going to have a very, very bad impact on your reputation. Okay, so
Yes,
that's
sir.
most important for you to, just simple. Keep coming on time. Do your work on time, and enjoy life as well. That's also important.
Yes, sir. Sir, I had a question that do you see any entrepreneurial avenues in gaps which are presently in banking and financial services BFSI industry? Like any prospective entrepreneurs who are
Absolutely.
looking.
You know, it just through an idea has just come up. In fact, after reading today's newspaper, okay, today's Economic Times, if you see what the RBI governor and the RBI deputy governor are all saying, is they want to curtail money laundering. Okay,
Hmm.
and I'm not sure whether you know. I mean, there are certain things known as mule accounts. Mule accounts are
Hmm.
accounts which have been used, you know, inadvertently. Okay, without knowing customers, their accounts have been used as mule accounts. As part of a layering process in on money laundering. Now, what RBI wants to do is to develop a platform where these money laundering activities are being reported and circulated within the banking industry. What happens in
Hmm.
layering, so the process of money laundering is placement, layering, and integration. So placement is when
Hmm.
you bring a loads amount of money as cash and deposit in one account. But thereafter, what
Hmm.
happens is that the money gets layered in thousand or 10,000 accounts. Okay,
Hmm.
so you need to identify, and and this will happen across various banks, right? Because we have so many payment platforms. Money gets transferred in a second, right? In
Hmm.
1 sec, in a minute, matter of minutes, I can transfer money
Hmm.
into 10 accounts as well. So
Hmm.
why don't we bring out, this is the opportunity
Hmm.
available for, all fintech. Why don't we
Hmm.
develop a single platform that integrates, the payment systems of banks, and we
Hmm.
identify this red flag and report it,
Hmm.
to RBI or Financial Intelligence Unit or Enforcement Directorate. So this is what RBI wants, and this is an opportunity for, youngsters to come up with these types.
Hmm. Sir, if there is next is a hypothetical question. If the government had to like disseminate financial literacy programs or knowledge across different sections of society and among the lesser privileged or people from other industry domains other than finance, so what do you think is the best way? Like everybody should have proper financial information and knowledge about investing and where to invest also, like in safe assets and growing assets.
Yeah, I think what is important is we tell that individual as to what the benefit lies, okay, where the
Hmm.
benefit lies. Unless he doesn't understand that, and you'll be surprised that rural India will have that information as well. But they need to be told and advised that we are the trusted partners. We are here to
Hmm.
help you, assist you, right? They might not have the confidence in putting their money. They have a lot of money. They might not have the confidence, to build or to in the money. So the important thing is to tell that customer as to what is it in there for him, and
Hmm.
ensure that there is a trust building relationship, or a trustworthy relationship between the customer and the bank. Once that's developed,
Hmm.
I think there is a lot of opportunity, especially in the insurance space. Insurance is one product which is heavily underpenetrated in India. Okay, so that's one opportunity available for all bank assurance or companies in the financial space.
Okay, sir. So thank you for answering all these questions wonderfully. So I just
Yeah,
wanted to talk a little about like the this podcast, like the Trustasea philosophy is of calm and accessible learning from reputed professionals and like-minded individuals such as you. And lastly, I'd like to say that like fun thing that we could do for you was that like if any there's somebody watching this podcast and he has this question like is
so
Ramkumar sir or Ramkumar Srinivasan as a professional open to speaking in B2B events or in some anything related to banking sector, are you
absolutely,
available for this opportunity?
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely happy to
In case
be a
somebody
part
is
of the
watching this
session.
and wants
Yeah.
to take your services on,
Sure. Sure,
grow
sure.
your
You can reach out
professional.
to me. Yeah, yeah. Basis, obviously, I'll have to check my availability, and so that I think I'm open to, even at this stage, it's important for you to learn. Okay, even I'm
Yeah.
learning. At this phase of my life is also I'm learning. While teaching, I'm also learning as well. So happy to be a
Mm-hmm.
part of any session where I could contribute.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sir. So I think thank you for your time and thanks a lot for accepting this
Thank you.
invitation to the
Thank
podcast.
you. Thank you, Raj. Thank you. Thank you so much.